Hey, hi, all. Welcome to BRR Knowledge Center. So, in this session, we'll talk about C Sharp data type, second part. And for a couple of seconds, we'll recap the last session that what we have been discussed on C Sharp data types. Let me share my notebook. So, this is what we have discussed yesterday in class, like C Sharp data types, with value data types, reference data types, and find the data types. Basically, value data types again, divided into two types, like predefined data types and user-defined data types. So this value data type, basically basic data types like primitive data types in C sharp, like int, char, float, double, decimal, etc. And enumerations and structures are basically comes under user-defined data types. So all these data types are coming under one umbrella called value data types. But the basic data types are short, int, char, float, double, decimal. And after that, we have seen the ranges, the memory size of a couple of data types, like a char, unsigned char, short, int, long, float, double, decimal. And after that, we have discussed the reference data types, like what is the reference data type and where the value is storing and how the value is fetching from, memory. So the reference data type basically, contains the actual, do not contain the actual data stored in variable, but they contain a reference of the variable. That means, look at here, when I declare a variable of the string or class or array types, the variable address will get, saved in value, stack memory, and the original value gets saved in heap memory. That means when you run in a dotted application, CLR is going to create two kind of memories, stack memory and heap memory. The stack memory basically contains by default value type values. That means the direct values of the value data types will get stored automatically in the stack memory. And for the reference data type values, the values will get stored in heap memory, but the address of the reference data type will be stored in a stack memory. So that means the address always holding in stack memory and the original value will be stored in heap memory. So to fetch the value of reference data type, firstly we have to get the address of the reference data type variable from the stack memory, and after that, so with the address, so we generally contact to the heap memory to fetch the actual value. So in the reference data type, I think we talk about a string, class, array types, and object and interfaces. And this also be divided into two types, like predefined data types and user-defined data types. Predefined means inbuilt data types which are coming from part of a .NET framework like objects and strings. And user-defined means the data types which are created by user or a developer, like classes and interfaces. And the last one is pointer data type, which basically using it for to know the location of variable in a memory. That means if you want to get the address of a variable, so we're going to define the variable with the pointer data type. So we basically use two symbols in this pointer data type, ampersand and asterisk. Ampersand basically indicates the address operator, which determines the address of a variable. And asterisk indicates indirection operator, which means the accessing of a value from the address, you need to use asterisk symbol. Okay. So the pointer in C# language can be declared using asterisk symbol. And after that, the integer or number data types have been discussed, like integer, long, and after that we discussed the float types, like float, double, decimal, and the differences between these three. The only difference is the precision value. That means after decimal, how many digits you are going to allow for the developer to enter or hold the variable. It depends on the data type you are choosing here. Float basically allows 5 to 6 digits, the precision value, and double is going to allow more than 6 digits. That means 15 digits it is allowing. And if you want to store more than 15 digits, then you go for decimal. But the advice to the developers that don't go for decimal because it's putting some burden on performance because it is 20 times lesser than the decimal, sorry, double and float data types. Hence, so don't go for using decimal because it is going to occupy a lot of memory in the memory. Because with 16 byte size, which basically occupies 16 into 8, that means 128-bit size in the memory, even though the value is not that much of length, but it is by default allocating that much of space in the memory. So don't go for a decimal on the most of cases. And the last one we discussed Boolean, where it returns single value and true or false. If you declare a Boolean variable using bool keyword, so it basically holds false or true. The syntax is this way. And now I think in the next session, this is what today's session we'll talk about, the date data type. Okay. So in this session, we'll talk about data types like date time and char and string data type. So what is the date data type? So date time data type. So we use this date time when there is a need to work with the dates and times in C#. So if you wanted to retrieve current date or previous date or tomorrow's date or future or present and past dates or date related functions like day, month, year, and hours, minutes, seconds, milliseconds. So we have to use the datetime class, which is inside of system namespace, was provided by .NET Framework. So we have to use datetime to get all these methods. So the datetime has a date and time property. From a datetime, we can find the date and time, and along with the date and time, also you can find, hours, minutes, seconds, milliseconds, and week of day, a month of the date, and year of the date, like that. Okay, along with this, we also have some methods. We also have some inbuilt methods instead of data type, like day of week. So this basically, this will get this name of a day from the week. It will get the name of week in the given date or current date. And next one is the day of year. So to get the day of year, to get the day of year, we will use this method. And the next one is, daytime or time of day. If you want to get the time of the day, we need to use time of day. To get the time in a daytime, whether it is current date or user mentioned date, it is going to give the time. And there is another property called now. This property basically uses for returning the date time object. It is having the current date and time. It will return the date object, which will have current date and time. Also, we have another property called UTC. Is another property which basically returns the coordinated universal time. That means so based on the time and based on the place you are executing this program, and it will return you that so from where you are accessing this value. That is from ISD or GMT or any other country specific coordinates. It will return that time difference, right? So it will return the coordinated universal time, that is UTC. And one more property we have, that is ticks. This ticks represent the 100 nanoseconds in daytime. Ticks property of the daytime returns the number of ticks in daytime. It is written the number of ticks in a daytime. So the one tick represent, right, the 100 nanoseconds. And also we have another property called kind. This kind property returns a value where the representation of time is done by the instance, which is based on the local time or coordinated universal time, like that. It also shows the unspecified default value. So it returns the value where the representation of time is done by the instance. So, which is again based on the, which is based on the local time or UTC. So the example and the syntax of using of datetime in the C sharp is datetime dt current date is the variable equal to new of data. So this will create an instance for the datetime class, and then you print this using console dot write line of current date or simple dt current date. When I execute this will by default display 01001 00 colon 00 colon 00. But I want to print the current date, then how to use that? So to print the current date, you need to use console dot write line of current date time equal to date time dot now. This will give you the current date time, right? You just close it, and here you need to specify a dollar. We shall see some sample demo here. Just open Notepad, just select the language. I will C sharp, right? And first statement is using, which basically is import a system namespace where it contains default classes and methods. And namespace date time demo close class again date time demo closing this static while main string arguments open and close. Here I'm declaring date time ndt current date equal to new date. Console dot write line of now dt current date. And also if you want to print current date, console dot write line of current date is dot move now to string. Let me save this like date time demo1.cs and go to command prompt. So here I think this is my command prompt. Let me check this file. It's being created, right? Date time demo1.c. You can see that content here, date time demo1.c. It will display the content. Now try to execute compile this program using C# compiler, that is TSC. This is the compiler where it is going to compile a program from the command prompt. Datetime1.cs. So it compiled without errors. Now the step is executing the compiled code datetime demo1.its. Look at here, it was printed the default value 0101001, and the current date also it printed this way, right? So this is something which is interacting with the data, right? And also we will write a couple of other stuff of the properties which we are discussed with here, like date of week, day of year, time of day, something. Go back to your demo, this one, and here try to create a date time object, date time dt current date. Thus we can say dt object because this will be written default date time. The current date equal to mu of data. For this, I'm passing some value 2023. So this is 8, 4 and 4 and 8, 40 and 50 minutes, 50 seconds. 8 hours or 40 minutes, 50 seconds. This is going to give me a data object, right? Now I'll try to retrieve console dot write line out, right? Date I want to print, right? Date time property here, which is the current date dot date. So this is going to print me a day. Similarly, I want to print all the above mentioned methods. And the next one is month. Values here, month. And which is year. And which is year. And hour. Hour. Minutes. Seconds. Minute. And next one is second. And after that, we can print milliseconds also, milliseconds. Right. The next one is day of week. Same in my week here. Day of week. And here, day of year. And I'll say day of year. And last one is takes. And I can say takes. Right. And the next one is time. Dot time. If we say this, go back to the command prompt. Compile this program again. It showed me that data does not contain the family and navigable extension of the first argument. So I think it is millisecond. I think I've given except with tab the letter, which does not allow for it should be small. Go back to your command prompt again, run this. Now no issue. It's compiled and just execute this file. Now it has displayed the day for month 7, year, hours, minutes, seconds, milliseconds, the week, year, weeks, time, all the properties, sorry, all the methods have written the values based on the date and data type. Okay. And our next one is looking at the next data type we're talking about is GUID value. What is GUID? So GUID is actually a globally unique identifier, or this GUID represents a gigantic identification number, which of 36 length and 120, 8-bit character string. So GUID means globally unique identifier, or GUID represents a gigantic identification number. So basically mix of alphanumeric and hyphen symbol of 36 length. This GUID is present in system namespace. The example of the syntax for this GUID data type is GUID, demo GUID equal to GUID dot new GUID GUID. This will generate a good value and keep in this variable. So just print this console dot right line of GUID. The purpose of using this good value basically is using by organizations where they refer the computer system network because it's a large, huge number is going to generate. And then there'll be financial applications and these computers which they got operating of patches and installing of softwares and defining some IPs, port numbers. This good value is going to generate that. Okay. If you look at this demo part here, right? Let me create a new file and I will take same thing from tilt here to here, right? And closing, right? This class closing, this namespace closing. This is GUID demo. So here GUID demo GUID is GUID dot new GUID console dot right line of demo GUID. Just save this as GUID demo dot cs. Go to your command prompt, check the file is created or not. Just create it, right? Compile this GUID demo dot cs. It compiled. Just run this. It generates GUID value with alphabet numbers with a special character Python. It's basically having 36 character length, and it's basically using it for referring or consulting or attaching some kind of computer related stuff or network stuff. We basically use this value in organizations. Okay, this is the kind variety of data type where it is generated based on algorithms and representing bigger values uniquely for all the times it is coming as different value. That means every entry in the database, if they wanted to use it, they can use this for a larger purpose. Thanks for listening to this video, and we'll see our next types in the coming sessions. I think we covered data and GUID. In the next section, we'll talk about the character and string data types. Thank you.